Well, good morning, Freight Masters. Good Monday morning, Freight Masters. So, like I said, a lot of stuff that I've been wanting to talk about with everyone. But this one in particular, because this is something that's been on the rise that I think that we all need to be aware of as brokers and carriers. So it doesn't just affect one or the other. It's something that both need to be very much aware of. Some of you may have already experienced some of this, but with cargo theft being on the rise and it's hitting carriers, basically right where it hurts, your wallet, right? Crime has gotten very tech savvy with their theft tactics. Premiums for cargo insurance are spiking. Carriers basically across the board are feeling the squeeze, right? So we're going to kind of break down some of this and how it's affecting not only carriers, but brokers as well. Cargo theft is basically no longer a low-cost crime. On average, rates have risen from 8 to 12%, but for companies with poor loss histories, this can soar to as much as 20, even 30% or more, right? Smaller carriers with limited budgets are getting hit the hardest. So for you owner-operators, you small fleet owners, you guys are the ones that are basically feeling the hit the hardest. Average increases from 8 to 12%, but bad loss records, like I said, can do up to 20% or more. So basically, we're kind of seeing a trend toward higher deductibles for all motor carriers and freight brokers. Basically, gone are the days of stolen off the back of your truck, cliches. In today's world, cargo thieves are organized. They're using tech to hijack shipments, right? Basically posing as legitimate companies and rerouting shipments, right? It's sort of nothing overly new. This has happened. Boy, how far back does that even go, right? But they've gotten much better at it, right? Some of these tactics might not be necessarily brand new, but they've just gotten very, very good at it. Thieves will spoof phone numbers. They'll hack into systems, assign fake destinations to reroute cargo, right? Their prime targets are electronics, cars, basically any other high-value goods are often make the hit list, making them very costly to insure. So there again, this is why it is so important. And this is, again, I know that it's something that I kind of harp on besides building relationships, is that making sure that you are investing into good vetting software, right? Something like CarrierOK or Highway or something. You cannot rely on the FMCSA. You cannot rely on just your straight up RMIS or, DAT onboard or whatever, you're onboarding. Just because they onboard well does not mean that you're getting the whole picture of that carrier, right? And for you carriers out there, vet your brokers, okay? Check Google reviews, at a bare minimum. See if they've got slow pays or if they're, unnecessarily dinging you. There's a lot there that can be done. I talked to so many carriers that, end up with issues that really didn't need to be, just to take 5 minutes to do a quick, vet of that actual broker. Cargo insurance has gotten very tricky. Coverage isn't just a one size fits all, right? It's split into different policies for carriers and shippers. There's more conditions, right? Like no coverage if the load is left unattended, the requirements for GPS tracking or secure parking at night, bigger deductibles, right? Carriers now face higher deductibles on items prone to theft, meaning you have more skin in the game to prevent theft. So if you're chasing some of that higher value freight that typically would demand a better rate, you're probably going to end up paying more for the insurance, right? Because of the rise in theft. So it's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of a scenario. So the TIA's 2024 fraud report shows cargo theft skyrocketing up 600% in just 6 months between November 2022 and March 2023. With those theft hotspots, including California, Texas, and Illinois. Okay. To fight back, companies are turning to GPS trackers, better employee training, and working with law enforcement. But recovery rates are very low. Only 8 to 12% of stolen goods are found. And I believe part of this is, I've gotten these, where even sometimes they pass the vetting, and this requires tracking. Oh, yeah, no problem. You get the rate confirmation over to them, and you send the tracking link, and then you're like, hey, remind your driver to accept tracking. Oh, they can't do that. They're an old man or something. They only use the flip phone. They don't understand the new smartphone technology. You're off the load, right? Because that's a huge red flag that something bad is going to happen, right? Either you're going to end up getting double brokered, or they will, reroute that load. They'll just take off with it, whatever. And they don't care. They probably got 15 other MCs that fall back on. So we've talked a little bit about, the impact to carriers. For you brokers, the price of fraud and your bonding costs, okay? Freight brokers are also getting caught in the crossfire on this. As cargo theft and fraud rise, brokers have been hit with massive hikes in their surety bond costs. We're starting to see double, even triple bond costs due to increased fraud risk. Okay. Some brokers are having to tighten their vetting process and invest in better fraud prevention to keep their bond costs manageable, right? This is, like I just mentioned a moment ago, I understand that some of these systems are a bit pricey, but it would behoove you in the long term, right, to have these in place. And some of them have, different plans, depending upon how in depth they are. I think eCarrierCheck might be cheaper than Highway. I'm not 100% sure on that. I did not go through and look up pricing, but you may want to. But basically, the bottom line is higher premiums and bigger risks both carriers and brokers have to make tough choices, right? Long gone are the days of just, I'll take that load, sending a rate confirmation over, load gets picked up and delivered. It just doesn't work that way anymore, right? Unfortunately, as the industry evolves, we need to as well. Either invest in security and fraud prevention. It's been a minute since I got tongue-tied, right? At least I think so. Or pay the price with rising insurance and bonding costs, right? And it's just a whole nother headache that you have to deal with. That I don't like headaches. I don't like problems. So it's just easier to nip some of this stuff in the bud before it happens, or as much as you possibly can. The burden of preventing theft now lies as much on carriers as on insurers. And for some, these high premiums might be the tipping point, right? So something to keep in mind. All right. So good news, bad news on a Monday, I guess, right? Just something y'all kind of should be aware of. I did want to talk about some things that brokers should know about booking carriers, but maybe we'll try to make that a topic for tomorrow. There's been numerous things that I've been kind of wanting to get to, but sometimes there just isn't enough hours in a day, right? So I hope everybody's having a great day. Have a great week. Get out there, get it. And if anybody needs to reach out to me, if there's anything anybody would like to share, the last video that I did, that one kind of seems to be blowing up a little bit. Had quite a few of you commenting on it. I'm looking forward to following up with that. I kind of wrenched my back this over the weekend, so I have not been very active online. Just sort of nursing that. I'm still not 100%, but we're trying, right? And I didn't want to let you guys down, so I'm here doing a video today. But yeah, so like I said, have a great day, have a great week. We'll see you all back here next time. As always, be kind to one another. Bye bye now.